How's it going, everyone? My name is JT the Talking Head. You are the audience, and this is a video about my entire collection of films from the Criterion Collection. Let's get into it. So, the last couple videos that I made have got me quite a few new followers here or subscribers here on YouTube, and that's something that I'm not really used to having. I'm more of a TikTok kind of guy, but I'm decided to give YouTube some love. I like to be able to do a little more long form videos, so I wanted to kind of go over my Criterion collection with you, since it is July and it is Criterion month at Barnes and Noble, and I did a video about my recommendations for pickups there. And I still haven't been able to hit up the sale personally as of the recording of this, but maybe by the time this comes out, I will have, and I will be doing another video that updates this video. But right now we have, I think, like 50 plus or so separate boxes of Criterion discs. That's not how many movies, because some movies or some sets have multiple films in them. But let's go ahead and start. We're going to kind of just briefly go over these, because if I decided, I'll talk about the ones that I really like, that really impacted me. But if I decided to talk about every single one, then it would be a very, very long video. And I'm also going to tell you if I've watched them or not, because I'm very bad about blind buying a movie and not watching it. So we're going to start. We're going in spine number two, Kurosawa's Seven Samurai. This movie is really great. It's one of the best movies of all time, in my opinion. It is a 3+ hour samurai epic, all in Japanese, in black and white. But it doesn't feel like 3+ hours. It's incredible. I highly recommend Seven Samurai. Next up is one that I haven't watched, Spine number six, Beauty and the Beast. This is one that I actually bought for my wife, and because she's obsessed with the Disney version of Beauty and the Beast, so I thought she might dig that, and it might be something from the collection that we can watch together. But I bought that like 3 years ago, and we still haven't watched it. Next up is number 11, The Seventh Seal, Ingmar Bergman. I have stated before on the channel that I believe that Bergman's Seventh Seal very well may be one of the greatest films ever made. To me, it is a 5-star film. I think that as far as like the writing, the direction, the cinematography, and how the story takes place and goes, it is probably the greatest film ever made. Like logistically speaking, analytically speaking. Next up is Spy number 13, The Silence of the Lambs, and I love this packaging. I just want to give this digibook packaging for Silence is amazing, with the booklet and everything. Teo the Terminator and I have talked about this very packaging on our podcast, Masters of Matinee. And yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with Silence. It's Anthony Hopkins. I mean, it's amazing. Jonathan Demme directed it. Yeah, it's a wonderful film. Maybe I shouldn't say wonderful, because it is about a serial killer after all. But moving on, Spine number 20, Sid and Nancy. This is an Alex Cox film. I love this movie. I'm a big Sex Pistols fan, big 70s punk rock fan. So Gary Oldman as Sid Vicious in this is fantastic. Here are, as a double pack, Spine 52 and 53, Yojimbo, Sanjuro, Kurosawa. I bought these after I watched Seven Samurai, because I was like, I really want to get more into Kurosawa, but I have not viewed them yet. Spine number 70, Last Temptation of Christ. I'm not going to harp too much on this because of the religious undertones, and I don't want to get too much into that on my channel, although I have thought about doing a video essay on it in general, but it is a great Scorsese picture. Next up is actually the first ever Criterion that I ever bought, and I bought this because not because it was a Criterion film, it was just because I wanted the movie, and that's Chasing Amy. Kevin Smith is literally one of my favorite filmmakers, probably my favorite director. And I know that a lot of snobby people and stuff probably don't appreciate him like I do, but I do very much so love KS, and I really, really, really wish that people would give him props more. Chasing Amy was one of those films that I bought for my own collection before I even knew what Criterion was. Next is Spine 134. It's Haxan, silent film about Satanism, witchcraft, all that witchy stuff from 1922. It's one of the oldest films in my collection. It's between this and the Eureka copy of The Man Who Laughs. I can't remember which one of these came first, but I've actually never watched it. So I need to probably get on that. Next up is actually a two-piece. I have the Blu-ray and the DVD. 157, The Royal Tenenbaums. I love this movie. One of Wes Anderson's best. I bought the DVD for like $1 at an old record store, and I was like, man, I can't pass that up. It's a Criterion for like $1, and I like the packaging on the DVD too, and I'll probably never watch it. Then we have Spine 166, Down by Law. I've been very vocal on my channel and my podcast about my love for Down by Law. I think it's the best Prison Break movie ever made. I'm a huge Tom Waits fan, and Jim Jarmusch is one of my favorite directors. So yeah, Down by Law. Oh, next up, 175, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Great Terry Gilliam film starring Johnny Depp, Benicio del Toro, based on one of my favorite authors' works, Hunter S. Thompson's Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas book. Next is another film based on a book, David Cronenberg's Naked Lunch. This was a freaking weird one. I don't want to talk about it too much because it was just odd. It had great practical effects, though. Next is another Cronenberg film, 248, Videodrome. I have seen Videodrome. It was weird as can be when I saw it. I did like it. I remember I did like it, but it is one of those that's just like super far out there. Coming up, we got Stranger Than Paradise. Spine 400 is another Jarmusch film. This is Jarmusch's, I believe, his first feature length film, and this is really cool because it also has his first, like, one of his early short films on it, which is called Permanent Vacation, and that's really interesting as well. I don't like Stranger Than Paradise as much as Down by Law or even a couple others. Like even the next one here, which we're going to get into, is 401 Night on Earth, which is my second favorite Jarmusch film. I love this anthology. It's really funny, I find, and yeah, and I just really like Jarmusch. I wish that the collection would get his film Coffee and Cigarettes in because that's a great one. Next up is 437 from 1932. Vampire or Vampire, however you want to say it. This is a really great box set. Really cool silent film. I haven't seen it in a while, so I don't really remember the premise too terribly much, but I do remember that I liked it a lot. Next is Spine 490, and this is one of my favorite films of all time, Wim Wenders' Wings of Desire. And funny enough, even though I love Wings of Desire, I have never seen another Wim Wenders picture. Paris, Texas is on my list to get this month for the Criterion sale. Next, Spine 521, another Jarmusch film, Mystery Train. This is one that I feel is not as great as like Down by Law or Night on Earth, but so I might put it a little more like in like Stranger Than Paradise's category. But it's still a fine film. There's nothing wrong with it. It's still very enjoyable. Next up is another Alex Cox film, Repo Man, Spine 654. Emilio Estevez, can't go wrong. Harry Dean Stanton, definitely can't go wrong. Another Wes Anderson, Spine 700, fantastic Mr. Fox. What the cuss? I love that movie. I adore it. It's great. This is a blind buy in my collection that just because I liked Seven Seal, I thought I'd like this, and I didn't. Spine 701, Persona. It's a weird freaking movie. Um, I do like the existentialism of it. Next up is Spine 711, the DVD copy of Hard Day's Night. I actually need to upgrade that. I'm a big Beatle guy. I love that movie. I wish they would get Help as well. And Yellow Submarine, that would be cool. 725 Eraserhead on DVD. That's one that I bought on DVD because I couldn't find the Blu-ray and I really wanted to see it. And then I watched it and I did not like it. Even though I do like David Lynch, I didn't like Eraserhead. So I probably will not be upgrading that because I don't see much of a point in upgrading a movie that I don't like. This is another one that I hated. 726 Macbeth, Roman Polanski's one, the one that's produced by Playboy magazine. Um, I hate Shakespeare. I friggin' hate Shakespeare. I don't understand Old English. I just don't get it. So next up, Spine 764, another Terry Gilliam film, The Fisher King. I love this movie. This is just the Blu-ray, not the 4K. I know it has a 4K, but yeah. Jeff Bridges, Robin Williams, fantastic film. Search for the Holy Grail in modern times. It's great. Next up, Spine 779, David Lynch's Mulholland Drive. This is one that's been talked about a lot lately that I've seen online. Very weird film. Love it though. Next is the Lady Snowblood collection at 790 and 791. I've only seen the first one. I know that this film inspired Tarantino, this and Thriller, A Cruel Picture, which can be found in the Vinegar Syndrome collection. These both inspired Tarantino to make the Kill Bill movies. Next is one that I still need to see on Blu-ray on this Criterion version, but I have seen it on DVD. I love it. It's one of my favorite movies. Doctor Strangelove, or How I Learned How to Stop Worrying and Love the Atomic Bomb. This movie is crazy, man, crazy. It's my favorite Kubrick film. Next is the first film from the Coen brothers, Spine 834, Blood Simple. This is a great neo-noir picture. This is one that I saw when I was a kid. I have not seen it since, and I've not watched this Criterion version, but 838, Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth. I need to get on that. Des, my wife, wants to watch that really bad soon. Then here's 841. Yeah, 841. I've never seen any of these. The Lone Wolf and Cub collection. I know I need to see them. I dig samurai flicks. It's just it's a bit hard for me to get into a foreign movie sometime, to find the time to sit down and have the energy to read it. This one is the Orson Welles Othello 870. I bought it because it's an Orson Welles film and I heard it's great. But I haven't watched it because, as I stated before, with Roman Polanski as Macbeth, I freaking hate Shakespeare. Next up is one that I actually rewatched last night as of the time of recording this. It's Terry Zwigoff's Ghost World. I love this movie. It's so awkward and fun, and I think that Enid is a piece of shit. I get the whole artsy thing behind it with Steve Buscemi's character being like her art muse and stuff. I get that. It's just I think she's a piece of shit. Next up, we have another Kubrick film, but I have not seen this one, and I know I need to. Barry Lyndon, Spine 897. Yeah, I mean it looks good. I think I'll dig it once I finally get to watch it, but it's just a little bit long for me, so I haven't got to dive into it yet. Next up, Spine 919, another Jarmusch flick, Dead Man. This is one of my favorite Jarmusch flicks. Johnny Depp playing a like a lawyer, I think he is, in the Wild West. Stupid white man doesn't have tobacco. Love that quote. 948, The Princess Bride. This is probably my favorite Criterion packaging of the digibook because it's like the storybook and it's all textured and stuff. I love this movie. I kind of want to get it on the 4K when the 4K releases, but I don't know. This is another one of my favorites. Spine 850 or 951. True Stories. I Am the Talking Head. This is made by David Byrne from the Talking Heads, but it is not. My name does not actually come from the Talking Heads band, even though I do like them. Next up, Spine 970, A Face in the Crowd, starring Andy Griffith. I love this movie. This movie is so far away from Mayberry. If you've never seen Face in the Crowd, go watch it. The funny thing is, there's actually a town in North Carolina called Mount Airy, and that's where Andy Griffith is from. And they've set up the entire town to look like the Mayberry from the Andy Griffith Show. And I was in the filling station, Goober or Gomer's station or whatever. They have a little gift shop there, and they also do like police car tours out of there where the tour guides talk like Barney. And they had this Criterion edition of A Face in the Crowd on their shelves, and I was like, I paid full price of it because I was like, I can't not buy an Andy Griffith movie from freaking Mayberry. Come on. 977, David Lynch's Blue Velvet. This is my favorite Lynch film. I very much so love this film. I think that it is probably, in my opinion, his best film. I mean, Mulholland Drive does, of course, give it a run for its money. It's arguable, but I love Kyle MacLachlan in this movie. Next up is another one that I haven't seen. I bought it for my wife because she loves Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. 979, Swing Time. I think I'll dig that movie because I do like old musicals and stuff, but I just haven't had the chance to sit down and watch it. This is another musical, and if you guys haven't seen this musical, this one is insanely cool. Based on the Broadway play 982, Hedwig and the Angry Inch. Very great film about like sexuality and also deals with like Germany in the 1980s and like the fall of the Berlin Wall. It's really neat. This is another one, Spine 984, which I don't know if they did this intentionally, but Spine 9, I'm just noticing this. Spine 984 is Orwell's 1984 by Michael Radford. I actually haven't seen the movie. Never watched it, but it is on my list to watch. Next up is Spine 1025, Wes Anderson's Grand Budapest. Not much to be said about that one that hasn't already been said by every film critic giving it 5 stars ever. It's a great film. Love it. Then we got Spine. Actually, let's, because technically this is, I was going to save this later, but this is technically Spine 1000, the great Showa era Godzilla set. This thing is humongous. I love it. My dad got me this for my birthday a couple years ago. It's one of the hardest. I love the set, but I also hate it because it's so hard to store. That's where it's so big. Spine 1035. Come and see. This movie is insane. It shows a great look at a part of World War II that we don't often get to see, the Soviet side. Spine 1036, the Bruce Lee collection. Um, I haven't actually watched any of these yet. I know I'm bad. I had my dad would probably be disappointed in me because I he got me these for my birthday 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and because my dad knows I love film, and I have yet to watch any of them. Next up, Spine 1051, David Lynch's The Elephant Man. This I will always maintain is Lynch's most accessible film and easiest to like grasp and get the concept of because it is a biopic based on John Merrick or David Merrick, who I can't remember his name. Next is the most recent Jarmusch film in the collection, 1057, Ghost Dog Way of the Samurai with Forrest Whitaker. This movie's kick ass, man. It's not really on the level, I believe, of something like, Down by Law, but it is still a great film. Then we got Spine 1058, The Irishman, Scorsese, Netflix produced. I saw the movie on Netflix before it came to the collection, so I've not technically seen the collection version, but it is a good movie. Nonetheless, I liked it. I thought that De Niro and Pesci were awesome in it, and so was Pacino. Then we have Spine 1062, Rolling Thunder Review, a Bob Dylan story by Martin Scorsese. This was a really fascinating documentary, music, picture. I'm a fairly large Bob Dylan fan. I won't say I know every one of his songs, but the hits I can really dig. Then we got Spine 1073, Bong Joon Ho's Memories of Murder. I bought this because I watched and loved Parasite, but I have not seen Memories of Murder yet. I know I need to get on that. I need to get into some more Korean films. Then we got Spine 1075, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It's another one of those type of 1980s type movies that are just great, man, just great. We got Citizen Kane, Spine 1104. This is I'm not gonna sit here and try to review Citizen Kane. Come on, guys. Who do you think I am? A movie critic from the freaking 50s or 30s or whenever the hell Citizen Kane came out, 1941. I mean, it's Citizen Kane. We all know it's a great movie. Next up, we have the Coen Brothers, Miller's Crossing. To this day, the only Coen Brothers movie that I have seen that I was not actually all that crazy about. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. This is the most one that I watched recently. Spine 1126, Double Indemnity. Man, that's a hard word to say, and I just popped my mic. I'm sorry. Double Indemnity. This movie is crazy, and I will tell y'all, it made me not want to. It made me really not want to joke about life insurance policies with my wife anymore. Then we got Spine 1134, Raging Bull. There's nothing else to say about Raging Bull. It's a great picture. I love Raging Bull. Cannot get enough of it. One of Scorsese's best pictures, in my opinion. One of Robert De Niro's best portrayals. So, same with Joe Pesci. And then, last but not least, the last film that we own in the collection, 1161. Wally. Love this movie. This disc, I've been very adamant that this disc is the probably the best like disc that you can spend to get like full view of HDR on a movie. I freaking love that movie. And that disc, that 4K disc is beautiful. And that's it. That's my entire Criterion collection. I hope you guys enjoyed sitting here and listening to me rabble on about some of the films that I have in this, as well as just going over everything I have. There will probably be, stay tuned for in the close future, there will most likely be a new video coming out that will update with the few things that I got from the B&N sale once I'm able to hit it this month. And yeah, that's it. If you guys enjoyed it, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you're following me on TikTok because my TikTok most of the time gets most of my attention. Not to say that I don't like doing YouTube. It's just I have a bigger community over on TikTok, and I feel like it's a little more close knit. So you guys over here on YouTube should come join us over there because it's so lit over there, man. I'm telling you. And yeah, so all the links for that stuff's in the description as always. If you guys enjoyed this, hope you did. Leave a like and let me know what you're picking up on the BNN sale. See you later.